Hey everyone, we've got some new nominating contract packs on eFootball. We've got 3 new packs, we've got the all-rounders, and we've got Japanese and Mexican leagues as well. I'm going to do a separate video reviewing each of these packs, and I'm also going to do a 4th video where I review the match pass players and give you some recommendations for who I think are the best value players for the 3, 4 and 5 star contracts. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about in this video, click the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So let's have a look at these all-rounders players first. So we'll start with Decordova-Reid. It's the first highlight card we've had of Decordova-Reid. The theme of these cards is obviously all-rounders, so they're going to be versatile. And as you can see here, he's got a lot of positions he can play. But let's get right to the point. He can only play some of them. He can't play all of them. Centre midfield, you can't really make him that good as a centre midfield, as you can see from the numbers here. But no matter how you train him, he still doesn't get great in that position. And likewise, right back, you cannot make him a good right back. You just can't get good enough defensively. But as a winger, or as a number 10, I think he can be pretty decent. I think as a striker, you can't quite get enough training points on his attacking awareness and finishing to make him a striker. But certainly SSAMF, like I say, as a number 10 in that central area, or as a wide man, I think he could be decent. I think in those kind of positions, all those positions, central and out wide, I'd probably go with roughly the auto allocation, really. I think the way he gets trained on auto allocation is about as good as you can get. He's got decent pace. He's not amazing. He's a 4-star card. As always, ignore the star rating here on eFootball Hub. That's an error. It's a 4-star card. But yeah, decent pace. He's got a good acceleration, especially. And actually at 90 with the game plan boost. We'll hit that game plan button straight away. So as you see, with a good enough game plan boost, your acceleration and stamina will go over 90, which is good. Stamina's nice. Not all wingers and attacking players have stamina that high. Good balance as well. Pretty decent on the ball. He's not amazing, but he's decent. His passing is decent enough. It's not brilliant. Finishing likewise isn't too great, but it depends on what position you're going to use him in. Attacking awareness of 80 is good. Again, it depends on the position. Like I said, if you play him as a centre forward, to get his attacking awareness high enough and his finishing high enough, you'd have to take away too many points from elsewhere, and I don't think you'd want to do that. But as a number 10, I think certainly as an SS, I think this build would work pretty well. As a winger with the pace, pretty decent on the ball, and a little bit of end product, I think he's usable out wide. Through the centre as an SS, I think it's fine, this build, but as an attacking midfielder, I think all I'd do is I'd probably just try and take a few away from elsewhere. Nick a couple from there, still hit 80 kicking power with the game plan boost. Just need a bit more passing as an AMF. I'd probably just do that. Yeah, I'd probably do that. So there you see the low pass gets up to the mid-80s. I think as an attacking midfielder, he could do a job there as well. So he is versatile. Obviously, like I say, that's the theme of this pack. They're all versatile players, but I think this guy could be pretty usable out wide or through the centre. The auto allocation, I think, worked just fine for most of those positions, but attacking midfield, I think I'd probably do that. Just shift a few points onto his passing. The one real downside with this guy, though, we scroll down here, it's the lack of skills. He's got first-time shot, which is good. Ironically, that works well if he's a centre forward, but I don't think you can train him to be a good enough centre forward. Penalty specialist, gamesmanship, not the most useful skills, so he is lacking. These are trainable cards. You can train him. You can obviously train him however you want, as I'm showing you here, but that does mean you can also put skill trainers on him, so you could give him skills if you wanted to, for maximum of 5. You can also position train him. I don't think he really needs any more positions, but yeah, he needs more skills. Whatever position you play him in, you could do with certain. If you're playing through the centre, maybe he's one-touch pass, 3 passing. Maybe he's a long-range drive, especially if you play him off the left. So a bit lacking in skills, but certainly he's got a few positions he can play. I think for Fulham fans, it'll be a really nice card to pick up. But yeah, on the whole, with a lack of skills, the fact he's not a bit better than he is a 4-star card. He's not a brilliant one. I don't think many people would be too excited to pick him up. But if you've got 4-star contracts knocking around, and if he's your type of player, he could be a decent one to pick up. But yeah, there's nothing to get too excited about on the whole. And next we have Minamino from Monaco. So we've got an attacking midfielder. Again, these are versatile players. That's the whole theme. So he can play attacking mid, SS, or across the attack. He's a whole player. Popular playing style is going to be making good movements forward, getting to good attacking positions. I don't think I'll be using him in his registered position, attacking midfield. With the way I've trained him here, he's got a bit of pace about him, certainly got good acceleration. The balance should hit 90 with the game plan boost. Pretty decent on the ball, very good offensive awareness. That goes well with his whole player playing style. He's not got the most end product with his passing and finishing. They're not terrible, but they're a little bit lacking. So as an attacking midfielder, I don't think it would work so well for him, this build. But I think if you played him as an SS or wide left or right, that could be pretty effective. We hit the game plan boost here. As you see, some of these stats hit 90. He's got some pretty nice attributes. I think playing him out wide, if you look down the skills here, he's got long range drive, so he can come in off the left onto his right foot. Long range shooting as well. acrobatic finishing, and then he's got one-touch passing, through passing, outside curl is a nice one. He's got track back, keep that in mind. So he's a whole player as well. So he's going to be making a lot of movement forward, but tracking back as well. But he's got decent enough stamina for an attacking player. But yeah, outside curl is a nice one. But one-touch passing, through passing, they'll improve his passing. But again, they don't magically make a player's passing great. They just improve it from what it is based on the attributes. So he'll have reasonable passing, but not brilliant. So like I say, I think with this build, out wide or as an SS could be very effective. You've got a bit of pace about him, balance, good on the ball, good attacking awareness. And if you don't ask too much of him, the end product with the passing and shooting should be okay. If you play him as an attacking midfielder, I think what I would do is I would... where are we going to get the points from? Take a few from dexterity, take a few from dribbling. Just seeing how high we can get that passing. Up to 12, yeah. If I was going to use him as an attack midfielder, I'd probably do that. So you have to take a few away. He's not so great with the dribbling. You're taking a bit of dexterity away, but he's still got good pace. Still pretty decent on the ball. With that passing, if you play him as an attack midfielder, he does have one-touch passing, through passing, keep in mind. So with those skills added, he will have decent passing. So I think he could be pretty effective as an attacking midfielder as well. So yeah, I think it's a tidy card. It's not the best version of Minamino we've had. I think with pretty much all of these cards, certainly most of these cards in this pack, there have been better versions previously, but it's still a decent version of him. It's a decent card. He's been getting some decent form in France. And yeah, again, with the theme of this pack, he's a versatile player. I think he could be pretty effective on the left. I don't think I'd use him on the right. He can't really cross it particularly well. He's not got pinpoint crossing. You could add that. Again, you can add skill trainers to these players. They're trainable. As a centre forward, you can't get his finishing and his attacking awareness high enough, in my opinion, without taking all of his points away from elsewhere. But even then, he's not great overall as a striker, so I wouldn't use him there. The way I've retrained him here, attacking midfield, I think is very viable, but I think at his best, with a whole player playing style, I think as an SS, the original build that I showed you, he could be really decent there. And likewise, he could be effective wide left or right, where he won't have the whole player playing style active, but I think still would be pretty effective. So yeah, versatile, useful card. I think it's a pretty decent one. It's not the best version of him that we've had though. So if you've got a previous version of him, you might not need this one. But if you don't have a version of him, it could be a decent one to look at. And it's only a 4-star card. Again, ignore that 5-star graphic there on eFootball. How that's wrong. This is a 4-star card. I think for a 4-star card, this is actually a pretty good one. So we're now on to the 5-star cards. And we'll start with Darmian from Inter. So got a defensive player who can play right back, left back, centre back. He can play right across the defence. He's also got right mid and left mid. Again, though, I'll cut to the chase in terms of his versatility. It doesn't extend as far as wide midfielder. I don't think you can make him a good enough wide midfielder. But defensively, we'll start at fullback. He's right-footed. He's not particularly strong on his left foot. He doesn't have outside curler, so I would not use him as a left back personally. We'll start on those skills. We'll cover that quickly. Man marking is good. Fighting spirit, aerial superiority is good for a fullback if you play him there. Sliding tackle likewise, but he is missing interception. It's a really important defensive skill. Again, though, these cards are trainable. You can put it on him if you're going to get him and if you plan to use him. Interception, I think, is a must. It's the first skill I'd want to put on him. And as a fullback, I would definitely look at putting pinpoint crossing on him as well. And if you look at the way he's been trained here, I'm going to hit the game plan boost. Even with the game plan boost down the left here, nothing goes into the green. All 70s. So he's not great on the ball. He's not great with his passing crossing, but he's not terrible either. He's just about okay, I would say. Defensively, for a fullback, he's strong. These are some strong attributes defensively for a fullback. The pace, it's interesting. He's got very good speed, but the acceleration is not quite so great. Kicking power and jump are decent. They're not the most important ones for a fullback, but still. And physical contact and balance are kind of okay. A lot of these attributes, like the ones down the left, are technical. It's just kind of okay. We'd like them to be a bit higher, but they could be worse. Great stamina for a fullback. I think the way he's been trained, I would certainly look to take some points away from lower body. He doesn't need quite as much speed or stamina. If we just take a couple away from there, we can get 3 more on his dexterity. In fact, I'll just take another one away from there. I don't think he needs that much aerial strength for a fullback either. I'm just looking at his technicals down the left. So 1 more passing, couple on his dribbling. Yeah, I would maybe do that. So there, we've still got 90 speed. We're up to 80 acceleration. Balance hits 80. Stamina still in the 90s. Still fantastic stamina. Defensively, I've left that there. 8 points. I think it's very strong defensively. And then down the left, we've at least got his ball control and his lofted pass up to 80. So again, if you're going to play him as a fullback, I think interception is the first skill you'd want. But pinpoint crossing, even if he gets lofted pass up to 80, I think pinpoint crossing would be useful as well. It depends how you use your fullbacks. If you're one of these players who likes to use very defensive fullbacks, like an extra centre-back, it's not really going to be too important for you. But I like attacking fullbacks to actually get forward and put some crosses in and contribute to the attack. So that would be an important skill for me, pinpoint crossing. But yeah, on the whole, with the attributes here, not strong enough with his weaker foot to play on the left, but I think as a right back, pretty strong. It's just a question of those skills that he probably needs. But the other position he can play, centre back. We'll have a quick look at how good he can make him as a centre back. And we'll keep the game plan boost activated. So as you can see there, 90 plus in all those defensives. Good pace for a centre back. It's the aerial that's a bit of an issue. 85 jump, 82 physical. He does have aerial superiority, so he's not bad in the air. He's about 5'11". I'd personally try and put a few more points on those physicals. If we take a couple away from defensive, it's a shame to go below 90, but I think it is important. We can free up a couple for aerial. We don't need all that pace, actually. We can take a couple away from dexterity. Another one on aerial. What else can we do? To be honest, you could do that. And there's still 2 left. Stick him back, straight back on low body, yeah. Could do that. So then, only 5'11", but he does have aerial superiority and get up to 90 for jumping. So now be pretty decent in the air. 86 physical as well. Remember, that is an important attribute for centre-back's physical contact. So yeah, again, skills will be the issue. I think you can, looking at these attributes here, you can train him how you like. I think I'd probably train him this way if I wanted to use him as a centre-back. And I think these attributes do make him a very good centre-back. But it comes down to the skills. Like I say, same as if you play him as full-back, there are 1 or 2 missing. Interception, the most obvious one. Blocker, I think, would be pretty important as well for centre-back. You want to put a few defensive skills on him if you use him as a centre-back, but you can get the attributes high enough to really justify it. I think he could be a very usable centre-back. And as I say, as a right-back, I think he could be a pretty strong right-back as well. But with both ways you could potentially use him, you will need 1 or 2 extra skills in him. So just something to keep in mind with the skills. But if you're willing to do that, I think with the attributes, right-back or centre-back, it could be a pretty strong card and a decent one to pick up. I think certainly for Inter fans or maybe fans of teams he's played for in the past, could be a useful one to pick up. Not bad. And now we have our goalkeeper, apparently. We have another Oli Giroud who can play in goal. I'm not sure anyone particularly wanted that, but that's what they've given us. So we'll look at him as a striker first. Obviously, this packs a lot of versatility, so you can play him as a striker if you really want to, but clearly he's a goalkeeper. But as a striker, default allocation of his points, offensive awareness before the game plan boost is 90. Heading likewise, finishing 85 is decent. Not brilliant, but decent. Let's just hit that game plan boost. So on the ball, he's tidy enough. Passing is decent for a centre forward. That finishing high 80s. Offensive awareness, to be honest, I think straight away you could take a few points off dexterity. And then you're still at 70 for balance, 70 acceleration. That's fine for a big, powerful target man. But you still hit 90 on offensive awareness as well. That frees up 9 points. I'll just stick him straight on shooting, get the shooting up to 90. What else would we do? Lower body, aerial. Decisions. Lower body. And nick one away from aerial and we can get the lower body. Yeah, we can get speed up to 70. I'll do that. Nice, yeah. I've had a couple of versions of Giroud. I think most people know by now what he's like. He's a really, really effective target man. He's big, he's strong, he's really good in the air. You see the jumping's decent, but the physical at 90, heading 92. Depends how you build him, obviously. Finishing and offensive awareness 90, tidy enough on the ball, decent passing. Obviously he's slow, but he's a target man, that's what you expect. And keep in mind the target man playing style, he's going to basically stand around, he's going to wait for long balls and crosses. He's not going to make many attacking runs, he's not the most mobile with that playing style. I find it frustrating, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you like that playing style, could be decent for you. He is a super sub as well, so if you're chasing the game, you just can't find a way through your opponent's defence late on, you can throw him up front and just lob some balls into the box, and he's, like I say, he's very effective. He's got aerial superiority down there, got heading, obviously acrobatic finishing, he's great from crosses, also got long range shooting, rising shots, heel trick, one touch pass. Doesn't have first time shot. That's the big miss. So if you're going to get this guy, and if you're crazy enough to use him as a striker, even though he's clearly a goalkeeper, you're going to want to maybe put first time shot on him to really make the most of him. But like I say, I've had a couple of versions of him, and most people who've had any version of him will say the same thing. He's very effective at what he's good at, and that is being a big lump just to aim long high balls towards. But yeah, if he suits you, like a target man like that, it could be really good for you. Like I say, like with most of these cards, not the best version of you we've had by any means, but very effective for what he's good at as a striker. And if we train him for what he's really good at, which is obviously goalkeeping, I've not even noted this. Yeah, so I mean we've had some 2 and 3 star goalies who aren't much better than this, I guess. But yeah, let's just be serious. He's not a goalkeeper. Could we retrain him at all? We don't need that much jumping on the keeper. As we know, as Konami tell us every week, if a goalkeeper's at the peak of his game and he's one of the best performing goalkeepers in any given week, he clearly can't jump to save his life. So 94 for jumping is exceptional. Can we get any more points from anywhere? Got to get his reflexes up, can't we? What am I doing retraining Giroud to play in goal? There we go. Got one there for I'll stick on passing, get his lofted pass to 70. Boom. There you go. Beast of a goalkeeper. But yeah, let's be serious. For a goalkeeper, technically fantastic. The offensive awareness is pretty high for a goalkeeper. Heading likewise. Kicking power. Physical contact, the jumping as well. But yeah, if you are going to play this guy in goal, let's just be honest about it. He's crap. He's not going to be very good in goal, but this is a meme card, isn't it? Konami just having a laugh with us. But yeah, it's just a bit of fun. You're not going to play him in goal, but as a striker, pretty good card. There have been better versions in the past. If you've got a good version of already, you probably don't need this one. But if you don't have one already, and if you really want a Giroud who can play in goal and didn't get that Player of the Week card, this is your moment. So yeah, it's a fun card, but apart from him being a decent striker, there's nothing really to get too excited about. Now we have Kang-In from PSG. So we've had a better version of him that was in Player of the Week not too long ago. It was a whole player. I think that was a better card in terms of the ability, but especially the playing style. I'm not a huge fan of the creative playmaker playing style. I'm not going to be as aggressive with his movement, his forward movement, but that's a matter of preference. Some people prefer the creative playmaker playing style. Also depends what position you use him in. Again, these are all versatile cards, so we've got a bunch of positions we can use him in. Based on the way they've trained him with the auto allocation here, I'm not sure he's got the pace to play out wide. He's down as a wide man. I think you can use him there, but I think the way his auto allocation has been done, he's better suited to playing through the middle, to be honest. If we get that game plan boost straight away, as you can see here, technically he's fantastic down the left here. The offensive awareness is all right. Could be better, but with the playing style, creative playmaker instead of a whole player, I think that works okay. But yeah, like I say, speed only 78 with the game plan boost. He's not the quickest. Acceleration is great though, and balance likewise. And he's technically very good. He's really nice in the ball. 93 dribbling. Pretty low center of gravity, so he's going to feel nice in the ball. I've had a couple of versions of him, and I can confirm he does feel nice on the ball. But yeah, playing through the middle, I think this build suits him best through the middle. I think I don't think I'd really change much with the way the points are allocated. I would maybe look at trying to get his finishing up to the 70 mark. You could nick one off dribbling, maybe. Just stick them two on shooting, and at least he gets over the 70 mark for finishing. Looking down at the skills, he's got a bit of dribbly stuff with the dribblers, soul control. Then he's got one touch pass and through passing, pinpoint crossing, outside curler's nice, low lofted pass. So he's got a very nice passing. He's got some end product when it comes to creating goals. No shooting skills, and his finishing's not the best. So don't ask too much from him with shooting, but certainly with his passing, as you can see here, 90, 94, and he's good on the ball. He's going to be very capable of creating goals for you. I think as a number 10 playing through the middle, attacking midfield or SS, could be very effective. Out wide, I would probably shuffle his points around a bit. You don't need quite as much passing out wide. He's already got fantastic passing. I would maybe just do... What would I do? Just maybe do this. Yeah, just try and get a bit more speed on him out wide. So you can get speed up to 81 there. Still got great acceleration and balance. Still great on the ball. Taking a bit away from his passing, but still for a wide man, I think that's still decent. 90 lofted pass. You might not have pinpoint crossing, but 90 lofted pass. He's got a curl over 80, kicking power high 80s. Certainly capable of putting a crossing, especially if you play him on the left as a left footer. Again, these cards are trainable. You could put he's got pinpoint crossing, my bad. So he's got pinpoint crossing. Okay, well that changes that a bit. So as a left midfielder, it could be very effective. He's got a great cross on him. So if you give him a bit more speed, you take a bit off his passing, but it's a lofted pass. It's still at 90. He's great on the ball. Could be a very effective left winger, actually. Very effective. And on the right, cutting inside. Doesn't have long range drive. Doesn't have particularly good finishing. So I'm not sure how effective he'd be on the right. Albeit he can certainly cut inside and pass the ball. He doesn't have to shoot. But yeah, I mean, even playing through the middle, this build would work. But with the auto allocation, with a bit less speed on it, a bit more technicals, that might suit him a bit better playing through the middle. But whichever way you train him, it's up to you. I personally, if I was going to use this guy a lot, I would look at maybe putting some skill trainers on to try and get long range shooting, long range drive. I think that might be worthwhile, bearing in mind he doesn't have particularly good finishing. But apart from that, he's technically great. He's going to feel pretty nice and responsive on the ball. Really nice passing, good skills to back up his passing. He can certainly create goals, and I think in any of his positions, down the left, down the right, or through the middle, could be very effective. And like I say, I've used a couple of versions of him before. He does feel very nice on the ball. He's a nice player, so I would prefer him if he was a whole player, but even with the creative playmaker playing style, all the positions he can play, the ability he's got, I think this is a pretty nice card. I'm going to try not to be biased now because I'm a Newcastle fan, so it's always exciting when we get a Newcastle card. This is not the best version of Joelinton we've had by a stretch. We've had 3 better versions. They put all those in those legend boxes, so they're obviously going to make the better versions the ones that you got to pay for. That makes sense, I guess. But yeah, still a decent version of Joelinton, this though. And as always, versatile. You can play right through the middle. You can play wide left as well. With the auto allocation, to be honest, I think defensively he's a little bit lacking. We'll go straight to that game plan boost, see his kind of maximum potential. So still, defensive awareness at 69. I think he needs a few points from elsewhere shuffled across. I would take a couple off passing. If we go down here, put them all on defending. You could take a few off his lower body, to be honest. Keep that stamina at 90. Still got his speed over 80 and high 80s for kicking power. That frees up 6 points. I'd probably put them straight on defending. Certainly 1. Needs a bit more dexterity, actually. A bit more balance, yeah. I would probably do that. I think that's pretty much what I'd do if I pick this guy up, and I will pick him up, obviously, as a Newcastle fan. Yeah, pretty decent pace for a centre midfielder. This is based on playing centre midfield, obviously. So as a centre midfielder, decent pace, good kicking power. Physically, he's strong. He's not got the best balance, but he's a big, strong guy. You kind of expect you can't have too much balance on players like that. Good stamina. Defensively, he's still not great with the awareness and tackling. Got to be careful with that. For a very aggressive player, he's probably going to concede quite a few fouls. So be careful with him. But he's got good engagement, and like I say, he is very aggressive. Pretty tidy on the ball. The passing isn't brilliant. I'd like it to be better, but it's difficult with his, the way his attributes are. You've already got 8 points. 8 increases on his passing. It would take a lot of points to get that higher. So yeah, passing a bit of a question mark. Don't ask too much from with his passing, but yeah, on the whole, he's kind of he's a good physical presence in the midfield as a box to box. Looking down the skill set, he is lacking one touch pass. It'd be nice if he had through passing as well. Track back, interception, aerial superiority, slide and tackle. Got some good defensive skills there. Going forward though, first time shot, long range drive. He's kind of a very defensive player or a very attacking player. He doesn't have the kind of in between, the one touch pass, the through passing for that build up in the middle. So yeah, if you're going to get him, again, you can put skill trainers on these players. I think one touch pass and through passing will be very important if you're going to use him as a box to box. In any other position, I think it would be even more important. Maybe not so much as a striker, but certainly centre mid, he would need one touch pass and through passing. But as a physical presence, could be decent there. I don't think it's an amazing version of him for centre midfield, but yeah, with the right skills, could be useful there. If you're going to play him further up the pitch, you obviously don't need the defensive skills. So, or those points, I should say. So if we take those off, that frees up 12 points. I think he does need a bit more passing. Let's look at attacking midfield first. I think attacking midfield, I'll just go straight to that. Just stick all those points on his passing, give him really good passing. So now he's tidy on the ball, great passing, still a physical presence, still a decent pace, good stamina. As an attacking midfielder, he won't have that box-to-box playing style active, but I think he can be effective in that position. So like I say, you can get that low pass up to 90, but I would definitely look to put one touch pass and through passing on him to really make the most of his passing there. I think that's really important. But if you are willing to do that with the skill trainers, I think you can be an effective player in that role. And there aren't many attacking midfielders who are as physically strong as this guy and with that pace as well. So he could be quite an interesting option in that role if you put the skills on him. And if you train him this way, I think he could be a very interesting option as an attacking midfielder. There's an SS. You could certainly take some of that passing away. You could take a lot of that passing away, to be honest. Go out down to 3. What else we do? I think he needs a bit more attacking awareness for SS. Pace is alright. Take a bit of that away, maybe. He still hits 80 for speed. Can we get him up to 80 attacking awareness? Yes. We've got 11 points. Okay, it's dribbling and ball control both up to 90. What we put the rest on passing? Oh, a bit of finishing, obviously. There. There's an SS. I think that's very interesting, actually. So again, you've got that physical presence, playing in that attacking position. Got decent pace about him. It's going to be very tidy on the ball now. The ball control and dribbling both going 90 plus. Offensive awareness at 80 will make him very viable as an SS. Passing decent at SS. Again, though, I think even as an SS, I still think one touch pass and through passing would be important ones to put on him. He's got first time shot. Finishing's not brilliant. You could maybe put a bit more on his finishing. You could sacrifice a bit of the dribbling, to be honest. Take a couple back off there. You're going below 90, but he's still strong there. And you get 3 more on his passing, maybe. Sorry, it's his finishing I was looking at, isn't it? 3 more on his finishing. You could do that. Don't ask too much from with his finishing because, you know, it's clearly not the highest. But yeah, as an SS, whether it's the way he was built just now or the way I've just tweaked him to give him better finishing, I think it could be a viable option SS. You know, he's got a bit of mobility about him, technically pretty good, but a physical presence as well. So it could be useful there. I think wide left likewise. I wouldn't do too much different to this, the way he's built currently as a wide left, as a left mid or as a wide forward on the left. You'd maybe want to put, oh, he's got long range drive, so you don't need long range drive. First time shot, long range drive, coming off the left flank onto his right foot. Yeah, it could be a very viable option. I had a little look at him earlier and I was thinking that's probably the position I'm going to use him when I get him. But he is versatile, obviously. I think he could be useful centre mid or attack mid, SS as I've just shown you, and wide left. Yeah, very interesting actually. In fact, you could put a bit more speed on to play it out wide. So if we maybe just knock a few points away from there. Maybe nick another one from there. Would that do it? That would probably do it. Yeah, something like that. So you can get his pace a little bit higher actually playing wide left. Decent pace, kicking power is very good. Still a physical presence, I keep saying that. That's what he's all about, we all know this. Great stamina. Box-to-box playing style will be active left midfield. Keep that in mind. So as a left midfielder, he's going to get up and down and up and down. As a wide left forward, won't be an active play style. He'll probably play most like a prolific winger. But yeah, I think he could be pretty effective there. As I say, long range driving, first time shot. Decent enough passing. Depends on whether you put those skills in. He could make it better with one-touch pass, through passing. Tidy on the ball, good attacking awareness. This guy's a viable option in all the positions we've looked at, to be honest. And if we finally look at centre forward, what can we do? Can we make him a decent centre forward? We obviously can't in real life because he was terrible when he played up front for us. Can we get his finishing good enough? No, we can't really, can we? Nah, you can forget centre forward. But certainly those other positions, SS, attacker mid, centre mid, or wide left. Showing you a bunch of builds on him there. You're probably going to need 1 or 2 skills depending on what position you put him in, but he's got a bunch of positions he can play. And if you want someone who's a slightly different option, who's got a bit of pace, got some technical ability, but he's also a good big kind of physical presence as well. He's a little bit different to most of the players that we have in these positions. So yeah, even with me being biased as a Newcastle fan, I think this is a pretty strong card. It could be a pretty decent one to pick up. Now on to Cancelo from Barca. So with the auto allocation on this guy, he's probably one of the least versatile of the players in this pack actually, but he can play right or left as a fullback, and he can play right midfield. You can position train these players. Keep in mind these are trainable players. You could make them a left mid, centre mid. You could even make him a centre back if you're crazy, but let's be honest, you can't be good enough. You can't make him good enough defensively to do that. But yeah, that's the concern with this guy. Whatever position you play him, really, apart from right midfield, he is defensively a little bit dodgy. It's the engagement that's poor. So I personally will hit the game plan boost straight away. Even with the game plan boost, you're only just hitting 70 for engagement. That is a concern for a fullback. You don't want to get caught in behind. A lot of people have pacey wide forwards, and this guy would be a liability in my opinion in a lot of those situations. But if you took away 4 from his passing and all the 4 from his dribbling, he's got 1 on shooting for some reason as well, you can free up 9 points. I wouldn't take much away from elsewhere, to be honest. Yeah, just stick on defending. I would do that personally. So then we got good pace, great stamina, balance is okay-ish. Defensively is a lot better, but still only 72 engagement, albeit those other 3 defensive attributes getting well up into the 80s, which is good. And then down the left, he's still 80 plus most of these, just lofted pass, only 79. Does have pinpoint crossing, he's got through passing as well, soul control, some skill moves. For the dribblers, this will be a nice guy to have as a very attacking fullback. Outside curl, like I say, he can play on the left. Interception and slide and tackle defensively. So he's got the skills. He can play as a very attacking fullback. It's just that engagement really is the one concern. If you're okay with a fullback being very attacking and you don't mind the engagement being low, getting forward certainly, this guy could be a really nice player to use as a fullback. But for me personally, to make the most of this guy, it depends on how you like to play with your wide midfielders. But for me personally, I've had a couple of versions of him, and I find the way to get the most out of Cancelo is to play him as a wide midfielder. So you can take away all these defensives, don't need those anymore. And then if you just pile back in on his passing and dribbling, I don't think he's quite as good as the version that I've got, but we're just going to see what we can do. I've got 3 points left. Where are they going? We'll stick 1 on shooting, actually, get his curl up to 90. And then another one on maybe dexterity. do something like that. Yeah, so that's pretty similar to the version I've got. So as you can see, if you play him wide right as a right midfielder, these numbers aren't always entirely accurate, but it's a good rough guide at least. 100 rated as a right midfielder, so he's clearly not bad at all in that position. Again, just a quick glance down these skills. Now we're looking at him as a right midfielder. Through passing, pinpoint crossing, those are the important ones we're looking at. Still got the dribbly stuff, soul control, outside curler, but through passing and pinpoint crossing on that right flank. Lofted pass 86, curl 90, kicking 86 with kicking power 86 with pinpoint crossing. He's going to have a very nice cross on him, but you can cut inside as well. He's got through passing, he's got outside curler, great pace, he's going to be great on the ball, great passing and crossing, great stamina. I can testify, I've used this guy as a right midfielder, mainly in the Spanish League challenges, and he's really fun. He feels lovely on the ball, really does. So yeah, you can make him a very attacking fullback. And the play style as well, almost forgot to mention, as a fullback finisher, he's going to be drifting inside, getting up into the midfield, trying to get involved in the build-up. So with low defensive engagement and the fullback finisher play style, he's going to be leaving his position as a fullback and exposing your defense quite often. So keep that in mind. It's not something I like personally, but if you don't mind that, if you like your fullbacks to be very attacking, it could be brilliant for you. And as I say, as a wide midfielder, in my personal experience, that's how I've used him. And I would build this one pretty much like this, which is similar to the one that I've got. As a wide midfielder, really, really effective. Feels really nice on the ball. And if he suits the way you play, having a wide midfielder like that, or even just use him as a wing back if you play like a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 and you like wing backs, could be really effective in that kind of role. But yeah, either way, depends on the way you play and the way you like players to be in fullback or wide midfield positions. But if he suits you, very, very nice indeed. It's a really good card. Not the best version of him that we've had by any means, but if you don't have a good version of Cancelo, and if he suits you, he could be well worth picking up. It's a really good card. And finally, we have Alaba from Real Madrid. So again, not the best version that we've had of him. We've had better versions. I've had a couple of versions. It's a fantastic card to have. He is versatile. Again, that's the theme of this pack. It's all about versatility. These are versatile players. And he can be trained to be really effective in a bunch of positions. If you're going to have him as a centre-back, this is the auto allocation, and it's a pretty good build. There's only one concern I always have with this guy as a centre-back though, and that's the physicality. His physical contact is really low for a centre-back. His jumping's not brilliant, and he doesn't have aerial superiority. He's 180 centimetres, so he's about 5'10", 5'11". That's a little bit short for a centre-back. He's not got great jumping. His physical contact's low. If you don't mind that, if you just want a cultured centre-back with a bit of pace who's technically good, fantastic. You know, you see down the left here, for a centre-back is really nice. He's got very good defensive attributes down the middle. He does have a nice pace, but it's just those physical and aerial attributes and the fact that, like I say, he doesn't have aerial superiority. What he does have defensively, interception and sliding tackle. That's basically it. He is lacking. Going forward, he's got some really nice ones. He's got pinpoint crossing, weighted pass, through passing, one-touch pass, dipping shot and knuckle shot. They're not really going to come into it, let's be honest, but certainly with his passing and crossing, very nice. But interception and sliding tackle, the only ones defensively. If he plays fullback, that's fine. As centre-back, you need more. I've personally put a bunch of skills on the one that I've got that I use currently. I've got man marking, blocker, I think acrobatic clearance. Yeah, so as a centre-back, like I say, he's lacking skills, he's lacking aerial and physical ability, and those are big concerns for me, so I don't use mine personally as a centre-back, but it depends on personal preference. If you don't mind all of that, you could get away with him as a centre-back, like I say, as a kind of cultured centre-back. Even then, you'd probably want to put a few skills on him, but if you do that, can be a very effective centre-back if he suits you. Personally, as I mentioned, I don't use mine as a centre-back. I've got mine trained to play as a left-back or defensive midfielder, and he's really, really good for me. So if we were going to do it with this guy, first of all, you would take some points away from defending because it's not as important if you're going to play him full-back or defensive mid. If we went down to, say, 4 points defensive, take away some of the aerial, just down till his physical contact 70 maybe. Keep that at the 70 mark. You need a bit more stamina as a full-back. So we got up to 8 on there. That's kind of just about okay. We'd like a bit more, but we'll see what we can get elsewhere. Get 4 on his dexterity. 4 on dribbling. Don't really need anything on passing. We can get rid of that. This is before the game plan boost, actually. So if we hit that game plan boost, we'll leave the defensive where it is because it's nice having 90 defensive awareness. There are not many fullbacks with 90 defensive awareness. What else would we do? I mean, on the ball, he's already tidy enough. Just 4 points on dribbling, nothing on passing as a fullback. We can maybe get his speed up to 90, to be honest. Oof. That's tidy. Sneak another on dexterity, so his balance is up to 80. Still got 3 points left. Let's get his aerial up a bit. Should we do that? And he is jumping up to 80, and we've got one left still. Stick on passing. Wow, yeah. So as a left back, as you can see, really, really nice. Based on the skills that he comes with and the fact he's not the biggest or strongest as a centre back, I think as a left back, this guy could be tremendous. You can train him how you like. There's different ways people would train him for different positions. For me personally, if I'm playing my left back, you can see here you get really good pace. Physical's all right. Balance is decent. Stamina's good. Defensively, he's very nice. That defensive whereas a 90 really stands out. And then down the left, he's pretty tidy as well. And with those skills that he's got, obviously he's got interception and slide and tackle defensively, but going forward, he's got the crossing, he's got really nice passing. Really, really good left back if you use him in that position. So yeah, very nice. And if you're going to use him as a defensive midfielder, the build I've got, it works both left back and defensive midfield. I think I'd probably try and get a bit more passing on him to play defensive mid, so I'd take a little bit back away from lower body. So he's going to play kind of like an anchor man. Just maybe take that down to 8. So then passing, stick a bunch on there. That's probably enough if you're playing a defensive midfield. Bit more physical if you're in the middle of the park. Maybe just do that, to be honest. I think as a defensive midfield, that would work really well. As I say down here, he's got one touch pass, through passing, weighty pass. He's going to have lovely passing on him. And he's got interception, slide and tackle. I think defensive mid, as I mentioned with my version of Alaba, I've got man marking, blocker, a couple of other defensive skills just to really round him out defensively, and he's fantastic for me. I would recommend doing the same. Put a couple of skills. I mean, if you pick this guy up, obviously it depends where you're playing, but I think any of those defensive positions, he needs some more defensive skills, certainly through the centre, at centre back or defensive mid. But if you do that with the attributes, depending how you train him, he's just a really, really, really good card. He's genuinely versatile. He can be a really, very good player in a bunch of positions. You could even move him further up the pitch to centre mid, to be honest. You've only got 4 points on defending, though. Would you take him off? I'd probably leave those 4 points on defending, even as a centre mid, if I'm honest. I would take a few away from aerial, actually. Stick him on passing. Centre midfielder, brilliant. Again, he can do that job really well. Maybe he's get a bit more on his dribbling. But yeah, this is just a really good card. And we could even look at left midfield, to be honest. Remember, you can train these cards, so you can put a position trainer on him. You can make him a right back if you really want to. I don't think you would want to, but you could make him an attacking mid. You can make him a wide left forward even if you wanted to. He could probably do that. If we take all those defending away, all the aerial, how good can we make him attacking? Yeah, passing up to 90. Oof. I mean, the offensive awareness probably holds him back a bit. Only 69 there. If we nick one off his lower body, we can at least get his offensive awareness up to 70. I think as a left midfielder, it would work. Great crossing, 91 lofty pass, 90 low pass. Not brilliant on the ball. If we just nick another one from lower body, actually, just to get his dribbling up a bit, at least we get 80 for dribbling. I think you can get away with him as a left midfielder. Could be very, very good with his crossing, like I say. And for a left midfielder, all the defensive ability would be a big bonus. I don't think you can get away with training into players a forward on the left. I mean, I mentioned that tongue-in-cheek, and likewise attacking midfield, albeit he's got fantastic passing, but certainly left midfield, you could make a decent build on him. He'd be like a kind of David Beckham style of a wide midfielder. Not a great deal of pace, not exactly a dribbler, but brilliant delivery with his crossing. But yeah, all things considered, let's be honest, defensively, these defensive positions are where he's best. I don't think he's physically or aerially good enough to play centre-back, but you could get away with him there if you don't mind that, you know, the lack of physical and aerial ability. Put some skills on him if you play him centre-back especially, but likewise, left-back, defensive midfielder, a couple of skills added, he could be absolutely brilliant in those positions. So yeah, for a player who's basically free for a nominating contract, I think this guy is really, really good. If you've not already got a good version of him, pick him up by all means. You've got a bunch of positions you can train him for where he could be really, really effective. Depending on the position, you might want to put a few skills on him, but this for a free card I think is fantastic. And even though I've got a good version already, I'm probably going to keep mine as he is and then train this one differently. So I've got 2 different versions of him. I think it's a really, really good card. So there you go. 8 players in this pack. I think it's a pretty decent pack. Some decent cards in there. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm going to be doing separate videos reviewing the other 2 nominating contract packs. We've got Japanese League and Mexican League packs, so there'll be separate videos for those, and I'll be doing a 4th video where I basically summarize all these players and I give you some recommendations of who I think is the best value in each of the 3, 4 and 5 star brackets, and I'll also review the match pass players in that video as well. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching as always. Keep your eyes out for the other nominating contract videos coming up over the next day or 2, and I'll see you soon.